actually working on Martin Luther King's birthday. We have a light call. I thought there would be less people, so congratulations on those of you dedicated enough to be in working like we are. So hope you had a good weekend, and hopefully get you a good start off to the week here. If you have any questions, concerns, now it's time to bring them up. It'll be a perfect time to share them so we can all benefit from any, whether it's hiccups you have or victories you have or whatever else. So otherwise, we've got we're going to do a tape review today after I have just one pointer here to begin with. And again, just let us know if you have anything you want to talk about. So the thing I want to talk about today for the pointer is this. If I can get my little screen going here. The love-hate relationship that broker-dealers have with their with products. So this is out of off of AdvisorOne.com, Love-Hate Relationship by Bill Miller. I've actually got it out of the Investment News newsletter. So it's saying BDs love product companies because it can squeeze a boatload of money out of them to attend their conferences. The BDs hate the product companies because even though their products are terrible, the BD still has to be nice to them because of their $90,000 entrance fee to speak. So my question to you guys is, what does that mean to you? How can you use that very fact? How can you use that fact? And I use this a lot. Preferred list. Good job, Eric. It's a preferred list. So when you're covering mutual funds or variable annuities or whatever, you say, now, you know, and especially if you can prove with the Morningstars that these funds are not performing up to standards of the market. So if it's performing less than the market for the 1, 3, 5, 10-year time periods, and there's lots of fees on it, et cetera, you'll say, what? You say, so, you know, there's thousands of different mutual funds available. There's hundreds of different variable annuities available, and I'm not sure why. Do you know why he chose this one? Because after we've looked at these choices, are we finding that they're the best available out there? Oh. So I don't know if you're aware of what's called a preferred list that broker-dealers have, and you're going to go through with them on how a preferred list works. Now, we don't know if we don't belong to that broker-dealer, we don't know if these are on the preferred list or not, do we? No, we don't. So we're not going to tell them that it is. We're just going to tell them how a preferred list works and let them draw their own conclusions. But the fact is, with thousands of mutual funds out there, why would the advisor choose middle of the road or less than middle of the road mutual funds for them? Well, we all know why, because of the BIPs and bonuses and everything else that you get from the broker dealers get to, and then they push that product on to their people. So that's just wanted to throw that out there and make sure that you were aware of that and that you are using that, and don't forget to not bring that up. And that's actually part of the disclosure meeting, but just a little reminder. So what we're going to talk about today is if you get it mostly right, it still works. So what I'm going to go through is a gentleman doing the power of attorney with a client. It's a tape review. And I'm going to nitpick him on things that he could have done better, but you see that he did it well enough that it worked perfectly. So we'll get started. If anybody has any questions yet, I don't see any, so we will get started here. If I can bring up my tape. Here we go. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm not hearing that, Missy. Are you hearing? Oh, well, you wouldn't hear it either? Okay, so we've got some technical difficulties. It'll take 1 minute to get those fixed. Sorry about that, guys. We have to dial back in here, otherwise it won't work, and then we'll get that tape started. So, did anybody else have any trouble getting into GoToMeeting today with it not accepting your codes and things? Oh, but many probably don't dial in. They actually use VoIP. What do we got? There are no other problems. Yeah, if you come in and VoIP, you wouldn't have had a problem. We're having a problem with the dialing in, which is the only way we can do tape reviews. So we may have to call this an early call if we can't do this. What else? I got another comment. Yeah, when you dial, there's no problem. We haven't had any problems with the VoIP or over the internet. It's dialing in that's been the problem here. And that's unfortunately the only way we can listen to the tape. So if we can't get this figured out, then we may have to make an early call here. Give us 1 minute, and then we'll make a determination whether that's going to be possible or not. Oh, and we're going to try it. It's not working with my phone, so Jeff's going to try it and see if we can get him in. So I apologize for this, guys, but GoToWebinar's phone system seems to be out of order. Here's a question. Will the trip be incorporated into Take Your Brain for a Jog? You could do that, but the trip isn't designed to bring on new clients, guys. The trip, which again, for those that are coming out on the 29th, we'll be covering that. And then during the first week of February, we'll be covering the software for everybody else online. But the trip is not designed for bringing new clients on because it requires underwriting. So anything that requires underwriting, anything, whether it's life insurance or long-term care or NUA care or whatever, anything that requires underwriting, you never want to bring on a client with something that requires underwriting. Why? So why wouldn't you want to bring on a client with something that requires underwriting, guys? Well, let me ask you, may not qualify, they could be denied, exactly. If one person, Fred, if one of the couple is qualified and one isn't, what happens to the case normally, Fred? Fred has said may not qualify. Yeah, the case dies, exactly. It dies, exactly. Because so when you're prospecting, you don't want to be using things that require underwriting, and the trip does require underwriting. So the problem is, so you wouldn't, and since we're Take Your Brain for a Jog is for prospecting, of course, we wouldn't want to use that in the Take Your Brain for a Jog. You could use it as just one more hook to get people to come in, but then you're going to be forced to show that to them. So the trip is designed to go back to our current client base, first of all, and then it's designed to go back to our warm clients, second of all. And and you'll see beginning of February, the only time we'd ever use trip with a prospect is if we run into a prospect and all of their money is locked up. If all their money is locked up in REITs or private placements or in high surrender charge products, etc., you normally have to walk away from that. But with trip, you're going to find you at least have a chance of making $5,000 to $7,000 off of that in a huge trailer without having to move those assets. But again, that's and why is it okay if all their money's locked up to go ahead and use something that requires underwriting, guys? Why is it okay if you run into that case where all their money's locked up to go ahead and try to do something with underwriting? Because otherwise you have to walk away and get nothing. So it's your last chance for those kind of products, or for those kind of prospects. So that was a long answer to your short question, which is, will the trip be incorporated into the Take Your Brain for a Jog? No, because you want them to become a client before you would circle around and offer them the trip. So you certainly use Take Your Brain for a Jog to bring them on as a client, and then what you would do is, after you bring them as a client, is 3 months or 6 months later, circle back around and show them the trip. So again, for those that are coming out on the 29th, you'll see the trip. We're still trying to get all that software put into place. The developers are working overtime to do that. And then in the first week of February, we'll be rolling it out for everybody else via the web. And so far, I've shown it to about 40 guys in a beta test, and they loved it. And so I think you guys are going to be really pleased. But again, it's limited to, number one, clients, number two, warm prospects, and then the last people you bring it to are prospects that you can't do anything else with. Does that make sense to everybody? Got nothing to lose, exactly, Dale. Got nothing to lose. That's when you would use it with a prospect that all their clients were locked up.
And Mike, I was able to get that playing here on my computer, so you'll just have to holler at me when you want me to stop. So. Well,
I don't know. That's really not going to work because
okay.
It's. So guys, I apologize. We'll just, with your permission, a lot of you guys like tape reviews. It's just going to be too clumsy to be trying to have somebody else controlling the tape and when we start and stop and everything else. So I apologize for that. But with
She got you dialed up.
oh,
apparently.
wait! Don't
Don't go anywhere.
go anywhere yet. So we're still trying to get this to where I apologize for that, guys. And I appreciate your patience with the trip, but we've had the underwriters, the software developers working on it, so there's no sense getting into a lot of it until we have that done, and they're saying it'll be done by the end of the month. So.
Okay.
Oh, well, it looks like we're almost ready to go here.
Where is your...
All the way to the left. Okay, now we'll see if we can hear.
5 years old.
Yep, I heard that. So. Okay, now I think we can go.
Can you hear him?
They basically said, well, that thing's old enough. We don't know if that was next.
I can hear you.
Their wishes are not, so you need to go back to the court.
Can everybody hear that?
I can't hear you talking anymore, but I can hear you. I can hear the...
Okay, we're just going to call it. We're with this. Give
Okay.
me Sorry, guys. We're still having technical difficulties. I'm not going to waste any more of your Monday. So we will move this this call till next week so we can actually do the tape review since you guys seem to like those an awful lot. I apologize, but go to meetings having problems with their dial-in, and rather than waste your guys' time, we'll just call it a day, and I wish you a very good rest of the week, and we'll just pick this actual call next week. Thanks, guys. Sorry about that. Hope you understand. Can't do anything about the phone system over at GoToMeeting, so I apologize for that. You guys have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks, guys.